Everybody, it's April Dawn. I'm here to do my The Sinner Part 4 review. Y'all, this show is good as good, okay? Like, it is getting really good and interesting. So I'm just gonna get into it because this is a long, detailed review, okay? So let's go ahead and just get started. Mason and JD are being interrogated by the police. JD said he has never had contact with Cora. We know that he's lying because while he's saying this, we see that, flashes of them, of him talking to her, of him caressing her, saying that's right or that's okay or something he was saying to her. So Mason is saying that JD is a drug dealer. They need to arrest him. Harry says, how did you know? Because he says he's a drug dealer. She told you this, she told you that, talking about Cora. Harry is like, how did you know this? And she said, well, we know that he found out from high school homegirls. So that's how he found out about, anything about JD. So JD, they go back to JD. He says he was inspired. And like I said, we're flashing him caressing her over and saying, that's good to her, like her naked body. So his lawyer arrives and the interview is over. So apparently JD's family has money or they're well-to-do because Harry's partner makes a reference to him talking about he's a trust fund kid or, something like that, a trust fund baby or something of that, nature. So apparently JD's family has lots of money, okay? Homegirl cop comes up and she apologizes for spilling the tea, and Harry just tells her don't let her personal relationships interfere with work. So we flash back to Teen Cora, and she's walking down the street and she sees people kissing each other. Her and her older sister talk about her neighbor. So the girl that she saw kissing the guy, that's their other neighbor, and she says the sister says the girl goes to one guy, she kisses that guy, and then she goes to another guy. So she basically says, so you know what that means, Kevin, the first guy, is fair game, girl. Like, you need to get you some so I can watch. Okay, side note, why is her sister so horny all the time? Like, I know we teenagers, and your hormones raging and whatnot, but girl, like, all you talk about is doing it, girl. Like, a lie, honey. Too much, okay? It's a little bit creepy, a little bit. It's starting to bother me just a tad bit, okay? Just a tad bit. Like watching porn together on the internet. That's what I'm talking about. Like, this is not normal. Like, never in my life have I sat with my sister and watched porn on the internet. Like, do people do that? Is that normal? Are me and my sister weird? Maybe we just not close enough. I don't understand. But I'm not watching porn with my sister on the internet, and it was weird. So the sister says, you can go out, you can do all these things, but you would rather stay here and pretend like you was a nun. So the dad comes down the stairs and he walks out the door. They thought they were going to get caught, but he walks out the door. Y'all, he walked across the street and went across the street to the neighbor house, child, and walked in. And baby, she was jumping up and down. I said, no, he did it. Okay, not right across the street. No, God, in the middle of the night. No, Daddy. No, you did not do this, Daddy. Daddy walked across the street and got him some, honey. I said, whoa. And the sister was like, oh, yeah, my bad, girl. I didn't tell you that Daddy be sneaking and creeping at night. So I was like, my gosh, that was no good. So we're back to Cora. Cora getting questioned by Harry. JD was the blonde guy at Carl's tap room. Okay, we remember that. So there was no Frankie, there was no pregnancy, there was no, none of that going on, no one night stand, nothing. She says after they left, they went to a house. We see gyrating bodies in the background. She tells him that she had sex, but she don't remember who she did it with. And the next thing she remembers, she woke up on the street in Poughkeepsie. Harry visits a psychologist. He wants her to try memory recovery with Cora. So it's like a hypnosis where they try to bring back memories that, you might have lost. The psychologist does not want to do it because she says that all the time, the memories are not always real. Some of them are just some things your mind creates. So he insists that she do it, and she finally agrees. Mason is at the grocery store, and he gets a call from Cora. She had found out about what happened last night, and she tells him that she dated JD for a couple of months before she met him, and she never told him because, she thinks that he might have done something to her. She doesn't exactly remember that Harry is trying to help her. And Mason says that Harry is not trying to help her. He's just going to use whatever she tells her against him. And he knows people like this. And, for her not to say anything else to Harry. So at this point, Mason is really starting to get on my nerves. He like a pest. It's like, you need to make up your mind what you going to do. Now, you already said, like, last episode, you said you was done and you walked out and you was finished. But now you running around here doing all type of stupid stuff. Like, ain't nobody got time for Mason. Mason need to go sit down somewhere and take care of his child, and get himself together, okay? Because he's really trying it, okay? So I don't like it. Harry is trying to help her, yeah. So he said, don't say nothing to Mace. Don't say anything to Harry about anything at all. So Harry and his wife are at dinner. It's like a little Marina Bay. It's real cute, but you can tell that Harry is bored to tears. And like, it's just boring. Like, their little marriage just looks so vanilla. You know, it's sweet, but it just look real vanilla and just real boring and just real, just, they reminisce about old times, you know, the first time they came there. Apparently, it was kind of sad because she reminisced about, you know, she said we found out about the baby. So apparently she miscarried a baby or a baby died that she had. And she just talked about how he knew how to take care of her. He knew everything that she needed and, you know, all of that. So that was nice. Cora meets with the psychologist. She consents to the hypnosis and to give the transcripts to Harry of the hypnosis. So she goes under and she sees a water tower in the woods on a hill. Okay, then she says she feels stuck like she's in a swamp. She feels hopeless like she may never get out. So she has to so the doctor asks her to find a moment of pleasure from that night. So she remembers kissing JD and says he tastes like gasoline at the tap room. So Maddie, JD's ex, is at the tap room, and she says she hates her because of him, and she has a plan. And they have a plan, and she's in on it. So we see JD give her a pill, and she takes the pill and she drinks the beer. Now she sees herself as a child, and a bus is passing her by, a school bus, and the bus has left her, and she's trying to kind of flag the bus down. And the psychologist tell her, you know, don't worry about that. Your mind just makes associations. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. So she goes back into the night, and she said they were siphoning gas because JD was on empty. That's why that's why he tasted like gasoline, because he was sucking the gas. You know how they suck and spit it out or whatever. That's so freaking disgusting. I didn't know that people did that. Like, maybe I'm just sheltered, but I don't know how to siphon gas or whatever. Siphon gas. So, like, I don't know, you know, how to do that, and that is nasty. It just seemed like it would kill you, right? You putting that toxic stuff in your mouth like that, but child, who am I? I don't know. Maddie says she comes up to her at the gas station, and she says, I know you're trying to get rid of me and you want him to kill me. And so she like arguing with the girls. Now we see Maddie in the woods in the same place, you know, just as we saw Cora in the woods, like in the swamp, stuck, right? And she's screaming. Cora says something is wrong with her. She says, then I just want to hold her under the water and I just want to break her in pieces. And she says, why? And Cora's like, because she won't let me go. So I don't know, have no idea how that's going to tie into the story, but that was pretty interesting. Harry runs down his whole theory to his partner about Maddie. He finds out who Maddie is some kind of way, y'all. He went through the details. He finds out who Maddie's is. He runs it down to his partner. Partner is like, okay, yeah, I'm not really seeing, you know, where this is the case. It's just a whole bunch of maybes, okay? So he figures out that they took 1 gallon of gas. If he was on empty, like Cora said, they took 1 gallon of gas, because that's how much that gas tank holds that he had behind the seat. So that gas would have took them 14 miles. So he figures, you know, a radius of, they had to be, you know, within this amount of miles. So this is the area that they were in. He found the 2 water towers. 1 water tower he finds in the woods. And so, you know, the partner is like, okay, are the memories real? He says yes, but then he admits later that the memories may not be real. And the partner is just like, I'm not going for it, okay? So Mason shows up to JD's house, and he's watching as JD leaves, gets in the car, and leaves. He goes up to the door and knocks, and the girlfriend says he won't be back till later on today. So he lies to her and cons his way into the house and says that he needs some supplies because he's about to go out of town or something like that. Girlfriend goes in the back and she texts JD, you know, your friend Mike is here trying to find out if this is who he says he is, okay? Mason looks at his phone, and I couldn't really tell what was going on. I thought maybe he was recording because I saw the red circle. So I was like, maybe he's recording what's going on. Okay, Mason also looks in the backyard and he sees a blonde girl that's like laying in the grass reading a book or something like that. I couldn't tell if that was Maddie or not. Y'all tell me if you thought that was Maddie or is this somebody that we don't know. JD calls back, and the girlfriend comes back into the room. You know, they chit chat a little bit more. JD calls and she explains who it is, and then she figures out that it's not him. Okay, she gives him the drugs. He gives her the money, and he says, you know, I'm Mike, and he kind of like scoots his way on out of the house before it go down. Harry is walking through the woods trying to, you know, see what Cora saw in her vision, and he finds the water tower on the hill from where he's standing. So he takes note of that. Harry and his partner visit the landlord of a back house that JD and Maddie rented. Okay, this is a white woman, older white woman. So Maddie and the landlord, they bumped cootie cats when Maddie was coming over there crying about what JD was doing. And when JD found out about the affair, he said that, polyamory was their thing. She said, or so she thought. So when they found, when they were questioning her, she said, well, what happened? Did he kill her? Well, what do you mean? Because he had a power over her. When I said that, I thought that JD might have stole some of my tools or stole some of my equipment, Maddie cried and said, please don't confront him. Please don't say anything to him about it. And so, and 2 weeks later, she was gone. Well, what do you mean she was gone? Did she get up and leave? Did she finally get tired and leave? No, she was gone, but her stuff was there. Her makeup, her clothes, her this, that, everything was still there. So when was this? It was 4th of July weekend, 2012. So now I think that Maddie is dead, okay? And I don't know if Cora had something to do with her death, but Cora was definitely, around when she died. She was present for the death of this person, okay? I'm not exactly sure what's going on, y'all. This is crazy. So Mason meets high school homegirl on her off day, okay? Homegirl had her wrap and her bangs was swinging, honey, and she came, okay? She came. He gave her a package, and the package, they had drugs, the drugs that he had bought from JD's girlfriend, and a tape that he had recorded from them making the deal. And he wants her to arrest them and put them in jail. And she said, this is what you do. You use people. This is what you do. And he like... It's funny, like, when you say that to a dude and he try to act like he don't know what you're talking about, like, boy, you know what I'm talking about. Don't act like you... Mason, don't act like you don't know what she's talking about. And he was like, I wasn't using you. I mean, we was just having fun. She said, you screwed me in the photo lab and you won't even look me in the face in public. I said, no, God, not the photo lab. Let me find out, Mason. Let me find that you work with girls in their work. Let me find out you got that work, Mason. Let me find out. Okay, Mason was getting it in the photo lab, child. He won't even look at the lady in public. Mason just get on my nerves, y'all. He just really aggravate my spirit. But we gonna keep on going on, okay? She tells him that he needs to stop this stuff. It's crazy. He gonna get himself killed and he gonna get her fired, okay? So he just needs to stop. She flashed back to Cora meeting her neighbor, Kevin. She said she wanted to find out about something. So they go in the back and he show up what he working with. And all we see was a fade to black like, wait a minute. What is Cora finna do? And then we come to her talking to her sister, climbing in the bed with her sister, and she tells her sister that she had 2 orgasms. Her sister is happy and she wants all the details, baby. Harry wants to sit in the hypnotic session, but Cora says that this is private and she doesn't know if he's going to use anything that she says against her. And he says, I think I've earned, the right for you to trust me. I just need for you to trust me. And she tells him that's not good enough. She's about to show him everything. She's about to expose it all. So, she needs to know why he cares so much. And so he says, that swamp you was talking about, you didn't think you was going to be able to get out of it. I know that swamp. And so she says, okay. Doctor said you can stay, but you need to be quiet. Okay. So she goes under. We're back at the bar again. She's dancing with Maddie this time. They're like touching all over each other and all of that. So she's out of it. She says Maddie is out of it. She's stumbling. She can hardly stand up. Cora says she doesn't want to go wherever they're going, but Maddie got in the truck already, and she says she can feel that something bad is going to happen. And we see Maddie and her panicking on outside of the truck talking. Maddie is saying she can't breathe and her heart is beating so fast. Then we see a searchlight that's shining upon them, okay? And then they start, she says they're hunting them, they're shooting at them. So they like running and hiding and all this in the woods or whatever. And so then we see Maddie in the house with the wallpaper, and she's walking into like an open door area, just like we did the first episode. And she's saying, are you coming? Are you coming? The song from the beach is playing in the background. And then we see her having sex with a man. The man like, work it out. Boom. Boom. He like doing Zumba, on her in the bed or whatever. Harry asks her to keep going because she says that she wants to stop. So she sees the school bus riding by her again. At her as a child, school bus riding by her again. So the doctor is like, is that the same school bus? And Harry's like, don't worry about the school bus, just keep going. So then we see her walking down into the basement slowly. We see the wallpaper all around everywhere. That's something that I haven't thought about. She said that the wallpaper looks like the images on a dollar bill. So I guess I didn't really think about that, guys. It does kind of look like the image, the pyramid part of the dollar bill. Okay, so I'm gonna look at a dollar and really see, you know, what she's talking about. But I don't know if that's the exact image, but it looks just like that image. Somebody tell me in the comments if it is that image or not. But we see that she's walking down to the basement, and then, you know, she says she's scared. You know, she gets more and more afraid as she's going down. She wants to stop, but Harry is continuing to push her on. We flash the man in the mask, and then she pops up. She wakes up out of it. Later on, she's talking to Harry and says she doesn't know who the man in the mask is. She doesn't know who it is. And then, you know, Harry is just like, okay, you know. And she's like, she gets upset with him. She says, everything I do is nothing is good enough for you. You know, she's told him everything. She doesn't know anything about him, but she's told him everything. And then he kind of says, you know, thank you for being so open and, you know, working with me and trusting me in this process. She asks that he not give up on her. And he says that he will not give up on her. So at the end of this, we see Cora going back to general population. So she's out of solitary, and she looks a little bit happier, a little bit more, you know, settled, and like, you know, like she know they on the same team. It's no more guessing games. So that was cool. So we flash back to teenage Cora again, and she's downstairs in the living room, and her dad is about to creep to go see his boo. And she says, please don't go across the street. And this man said, y'all, this took me all the way out. Like, I had to pause to laugh. Dad is creeping out. So he says that the neighbor's sink is so wet or leaking, and it's so wet and she can't get it to stop. I said, oh my God, I cannot believe that the daddy just said that, what he said. And he was like, it's nothing for you to be upset about. And then he just left, ran across the street, child, and got him some. I said, wait a minute. You know, I halfway thought, I'm not going to lie to y'all, that Cora was about to do an ease by you and offer herself up to her daddy. Like, daddy, you ain't got to go across the street. You can just get some from me. Straight ease by you. And I was about to be like, no, Jesus. And I want to say that's where we're going with it, because now Cora has done it, and she know her daddy won't text, but she don't want him to leave because she's begging him to stay. And I low-key feel like the next episode she gonna be offering up herself to her dad, and it's gonna be, oh my God. I'm sorry. I felt bad about even thinking that, but I'm not gonna lie. I thought it because she was standing there in her nightgown. She did not want him to go across that street. And you know, now she's, you know, done it. Now she's got it. So we'll see what happens with this. Yeah, he left anyway. So Harry and the wife, they're walking together in the woods, and she suggests that, you know, they can have their own life. They can do their different things with their lives or whatever, and still, you know, be together and be happy or whatever. So it was cute. Harry sees something off in the woods, and he walks away and starts to investigate it. And when he gets deep, you know, off into the woods, he sees a yellow school bus. Remember the school bus that passed her? So he sees a broken down yellow school bus in the woods. And then like 20 feet away from the bus, there's like this burnout body, you know, size mark on the ground. Look like mushrooms growing out of it. So they call, you know, the crime scene people come on in, and they start digging for stuff. And child, they found the body, child. I said, wait a minute, Jesus. It's way more going on in this story than I ever thought was going on in the story, y'all. Okay, I have questions. Why is teen sister so horny all the time? Why is she always talking about sex? Like, it's over and over abundance. Cora has a need to make other people happy or make other people feel good, because she only did it because maybe she might have been curious too, but she really only did it so that her sister could derive a little bit of pleasure, because she know her sister probably never could do it, okay? But it's weird to me that she was just ready to give her body up like boom, boom, bam, okay? And I mean, they didn't give us any indication that maybe she wanted to do it, because even when they was watching the porn, sis, she was like, why? I don't see why anybody would want this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is weird or whatever. I think she really just did it to make her sister happy, because her sister wanted her to do it. So that's weird to me. Yeah, and the offering up, yeah, why are you going across the street? Like I said, I low-key thought she was going to offer herself up to her daddy, and I was like, oh my God, I feel bad for thinking it, but like I really thought that was what's going to happen. So the whole thing threw me off with the running in the woods and the shooting them. I don't know if that's like a metaphor for something else that's happened, or it really happened, because I'm confused. I think that, like I said, Maddie is going to be that body. Whoever that body is, that's going to be her. But how did we get from them playing, you know, they all taking the pills and them having a plan? I'm thinking that maybe when Cora saw Maddie doing some of the things, that maybe that was her. And when she sees it, it just looks like Maddie, but it really was her. Like the script was flipped or whatever. So I don't know. It's a lot going on, but this show is good. I know I don't get a lot of views for this video, but I just want to say thank you guys. There are a few of you guys who watch and comment because it's a really good show, and like I haven't seen a lot of people review it. You know, even on the other side of the YouTube world, I haven't seen a lot of people review it. So I'm just giving it a review. You guys tell me what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share my video with your friends. I'm getting ready for this hurricane that's coming to Houston. I think I'm going to go to Teague, Texas to go see my sister this weekend because the hurricane is coming, guys. Okay, it's coming like tonight. So y'all keep me in your prayers, and everybody, y'all be blessed. Peace.